We are standing outside of 2124 Putnam Street right here, and you can see behind me there's an active police investigation going on right now. Senate Bill 139 passed with strong bipartisan support. It requires county coroners to follow extra steps when investigating a suspected overdose.
August 18th and 19th, nearly 90,000 people will come to Terre Haute Regional Airport, last year's Airport of the Year. This year, it's going to be eyes in the sky for what promoters are calling the Air Show of the Year. While the event is still 5 months away, tickets are already on sale, and billboards like this one are up promoting the event. In less than a month, ticket sales are booming. The team walks school corporations through the hiring process, offering feedback on what to include on the application. Yeah, guys, what an atmosphere there at the Rock-A-Dome. I had chills all night long, and at even some points, even I was fighting back some tears as well.
We are near the 22nd block and 3rd Avenue. That is as close as we can get. Now, the original house is just 2 blocks south, and it will be your 4th house on your left. Now, this is as close as we can get because this is still a very active situation. Indiana State Police SWAT teams have relieved Terre Haute PD special response teams. It is still THPD's case, though. Now, Bob, if you walk with me, just within the last half hour, Indiana State Police set up a perimeter near the 2100 block of 4th Avenue to investigate what they call a credible tip. Now, officials are actively pursuing the area, trying to speed up the process, but ultimately communicating to the suspect and resolving the situation peacefully. Now, the man in the house is wanted for shooting 2 people at a different location. That scene was at the 2100 block of Putnam Street. We have received confirmation that one victim, Amanda Kearns, passed away from gunshot wounds last night at the hospital. Another male who has not yet been named is in critical condition. Last night, when police arrived here at 1st Avenue, the suspect did fire rounds out of the house, and police did engage in gunfire. Again, details are still few at this time, as units are trying to resolve the situation as quickly and as peacefully as possible. We will continue to update you on social media as well as our websites. Reporting live in Terre Haute with local news that matters, Tommy Poole, WAWB News.
Bruce Roselli is a big name in the Valley. Not only is he a part owner of the Rex baseball team, but he's also a former Winter Olympic athlete.
Over a span of 5 Olympics, and I don't know how many World Championships that would be. You know, when you make the World Championship, it's the same as making an Olympic team.
The Midwest isn't known for producing bobsledding athletes, and Roselli was reminded of that all throughout his career.
Being a kid from Terre Haute, Indiana, getting to go to Lake Placid, New York at the Olympic Training Center and showing up there and thinking, should I even be here?
But Roselli did belong there, making it through tryouts, earning a trip to the Olympic Training Center in 1985.
In 1985, I was a decathlete, was training under John McNichols here at Indiana State, and I heard about making the Olympic bobsled team because they wanted to take athletes of my size that could do a multiple events, push a sled that weighs 500 pounds on ice quickly and then agile enough to jump into it.
On top of 3 trips to the Winter Olympics, Roselli won national championships as a driver in 1990, 1992, and 1996 while setting multiple world track records. He was also part of the World Championship team in 1993 and 1996. One thing that means more than the medals for Roselli, though, is all the accomplishments and change that still affect the sport to this day.
What I think I probably was most proud of is that I was asked to be the first one down the track in Salt Lake City when it was built. No one has ever been down it. Then I was asked to open up the new Lake Placid track in Lake Placid, New York, testing the ice and seeing how this computer-designed track will perform. And so no one can take that away from me.
Both of those tracks are still used today, helping Team USA prepare. It's not just the track still around, but the sleds Roselli helped introduce and test.
Jeff Bodine, Daytona 500 NASCAR winner, asked me about taking a ride and getting involved. That turned into the Bodine sleds, which, you know, if we didn't have those right now, we would not be winning the medals we're winning right now.
So when you watch the bobsled event, you'll see sleds inspired by Terre Haute's own Bruce Roselli.
I enjoyed that, you know, going fast, and just like any other kind of person in any kind of racing, they love that speed factor. And you always want to go faster.
In Terre Haute with local news that matters, Tommy Poole, WTWO.
As the opioid crisis continues to impact Indiana, a new measure would change the process of investigating and tracking overdose deaths.
What this entails is that every coroner in the state of Indiana would collect fluid from a deceased person that is suspected of an opioid overdose.
The scope of the problem is uncertain. Indiana reported 713 opioid-related overdoses in 2016, but in the same year, another 471 deaths were reported as unclassified. Sheriff Clark Cottom says it's an issue Sullivan County continues to fight.
It's an epidemic. I mean, it literally is out of control. And if we can better determine where this is occurring, how it's occurring, was this a prescription medicine that somebody was prescribed, or is this a medicine that somebody illegally provided?
While Coroner Mary Ann Dudley agrees something needs to be done about the crisis, she says the bill brings uncertainties and feels many coroners are already following these steps. Currently, coroners can send samples for testings to labs of their choice, but under the new bill, the lab will be the state's choice.
We're wondering about the cost. As of now, Sullivan County has a very small budget for the coroner's office.
Law enforcement agencies say if the health department can get more information through this new bill, it could help their fight.
This will better help us keep an accurate number of the amount of overdoses that we're having in our community. And also, let's not forget to hold people accountable for this.
Tom, funding for the increased testing will be covered by the state, but only for the first year after the new requirements take effect as of now. After that, the cost could really impact smaller counties. If approved by the governor, it will take effect July 1st. Tom?
All good things must come to an end. Tonight, Rockville fans will say goodbye to their seniors and the ball club that has meant so much to the community.
As a resident here for, close to 30 years now, and as a graduate from here and a former player and all that, tonight means a lot.
It's definitely nerve-wracking to think about how the whole town's going to be there supporting us.
It kind of has. I mean, the vibe's going around. Everybody wants to pack the gym.
Not only will the Rockville Rocks disappear as two Park County schools combine to form Park Heritage, but it could be the last game in the infamous Rock-A-Dome, as next year's venue has not yet been selected, motivating the Rocks for this one goal this evening.
And we want to get a win tonight. It's weird with it being the last game here. We want to go out with a win.
That gym and the history it has in it definitely deserves that kind of send-off.
Winning won't be an easy task as Rockville welcomes Cloverdale and Jalen Moore, one of the state's leading scorers.
So we've, obviously got a game plan in place to see if we can hold him under 38 points. It kind of sounds funny to say, but you got to hold a guy under 30. If you hold a guy under 38, you think you've done a good job because that's his average.
While the Clovers aren't a conference opponent, tonight's game will be a nice mark in the sand for the Rocks to measure what they have as they head towards next week's tournament and the team's main goal.
This is our 23rd game of the season, and it's going to be the first that we have all 12 guys that have a varsity uniform available to play. So tonight's kind of like a new start for us. We've battled unbelievable amount of injuries this season, and that's obviously affected not only our success in terms of one-loss record and things like that, but our chemistry.
While it's definitely a bit of an emotional night, it's still not quite the end, nor the time for the community to say goodbye to the tradition of Rockville basketball, as the team focuses in on the goal of ending the final chapter, achieving that tradition one last time.
Oh, it's everything here. I mean, we've been winning sectionals for 100 years, and every goal, it's just win sectional, win a sectional. We haven't done it for a couple of years, but we really want to get one.
In Rockville with local news that matters, Tommy Poole, WTWA.